Ladies and gentlemen, the first quarterback domino has fallen, and it is a domino that I did not see coming. I didn't even have this guy on my radar. I hadn't even heard anybody talking about this guy going to another team. We've heard about so many quarterbacks already this offseason. This guy wasn't one of them. Ian Rappaport's tweet, you can read it right there. The Seahawks are trading quarterback Geno Smith to Hades, reuniting him with his coach Pete Carroll, per the insiders, as Seattle hits reset. It's a third-round pick going to Seattle and a new quarterback for Las Vegas. So this is a Tennessee Titans channel. We are ultimately going to talk about what this means for the Tennessee Titans. How does this impact the Tennessee Titans? And loosely, it kind of does impact the Tennessee Titans. So we're going to get to that. Let me first of all say, for the Raiders, they obviously have their starting quarterback for 2025, maybe even 2026, and this takes them out of the Sam Darnold sweepstakes. I feel like a lot of teams are getting out of the Sam Darnold sweepstakes. I don't think anybody right now feels eager to pay what it would cost for Sam Darnold and the contract that it would be. I think a lot of teams are bailing out, and the Raiders are one of them. I thought Sam Darnold would end up with the Raiders, but he's not. Geno Smith is. The Raiders could still draft Shedeur Sanders with the 6th pick in the draft if they wanted to, because you bring him in, you set him behind Geno for a year or two, and then maybe by then he's ready to go. That is a path for the Raiders, but I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think the Raiders would be best served to draft a guy like Luther Burden, wide receiver. They would be better off maybe getting Ashton Genty, the running back. They need weapons, whether wide receiver, running back. They've got Bowers at tight end, but they need more weapons on that offense. So I think the Raiders are now locked in at 6, unless you can make the argument maybe they would go up to try to get Travis Hunter, but I don't think they will. I think the Raiders are staying at 6, and I think they're taking a wide receiver or a running back to bring another weapon there for Geno Smith. For Seattle, I think Seattle has probably entered the Sam Darnold sweepstakes. In fact, there are heavy rumors about the Seahawks pursuing Sam Darnold. In fact, in a lot of people's minds, that may be the place where he goes. For a lot of people, they were starting to think Minnesota again, as was I. But with this news, there are heavy rumors that the Seahawks will be targeting Sam Darnold, and that could very well end up where he goes. How does it impact the Tennessee Titans? In not a huge way. I mean, it doesn't impact the Titans in a huge way, except for this. One of the teams that has been mentioned as a possibility to trade up with the Titans has been the Las Vegas Raiders, who were at 6. A lot of people thought maybe the Raiders would think it's worth it to go from 6 to 1 to get Cam Ward to be their quarterback. A lot of people thought that. I wasn't one of them. I just never really believed that the Titans would be willing to go back that far unless somebody was willing to pull a John Cena and sell their soul to do so. I just never got the vibe, because if you're the Titans and you go all the way back to 6, you're not getting Abdul Carter, you're not getting Cam Ward, you're not getting Travis Hunter. And if you're not getting one of those 3, I mean, you can still get Shedeur at 6, I guess, but if you're not getting one of those 3, it feels like a failure. You need one of those 3 guys with your first-round pick. If you're giving up that number 1 pick, you got to be doing it for something, an offer you can't refuse. And in this draft, I just don't think the Titans were going to get that from the Raiders. But this confirms it. The Raiders will not be making any sort of trade with the Titans. Now, if you want to read too much into that, does that further the narrative that the Titans are just not going to get the offer they want to trade back? A lot of people seem to think the Titans aren't going to get offered a 2026 first rounder. I've seen some rumors today that indicate that is what the Titans are asking for, but I don't think the Titans are going to get offered that. A lot of people don't think the Titans are going to get offered that, and they sure weren't going to get offered that by the Raiders. So this would tell you that the Raiders, if they've had discussions with the Titans, they were not offering nearly enough to come up to get the first pick in the draft. And so the Raiders said, okay, we'll go make a trade for Geno Smith, and we'll let Geno Smith come take the reins. That's what it means for the Titans, is that there's a team you can rule out in terms of trading. That's essentially what it means. You can rule out the Raiders. I had already ruled out the Raiders because a lot of rumors about the Raiders and Shedeur, and I knew all along the Raiders can get Shedeur at 6 probably. Probably. The Raiders could still get Shedeur at 6, and they still may. Who knows? Shedeur may still be there in the second round. Who can tell with the way this draft is going? But the Raiders are out, and for Tennessee, as we talked about, the quarterback market is dwindling. Sam Darnold, it looks like he's out. Titans don't want to pay him what he wants. They don't want to sign up for that long term of a contract. They're right for that. So mark Sam Darnold off. Now, the idea of Aaron Rodgers to the Giants, that's getting more traction. Kirk Cousins, doesn't look like Atlanta wants to let him go. There's discussions out there today between Kirk Cousins and the Falcons, and the speculation is that the Falcons don't even want to let him go. So you might be ruling Kirk Cousins out. Derek Carr returning to the Saints. Okay, Russell Wilson is still out there, I guess, and I thought there was a chance Russell Wilson could end up with the Raiders because of Pete Carroll, but Pete Carroll chose Geno Smith over Russell Wilson. Make of that what you will. But the quarterback market is dwindling for the Titans. So it's getting to the point where your options are Will Levis, Cam Ward, or Shedeur Sanders. Because Jameis Winston ain't starting for this team. If you're going to bring him in, you may as well start Will Levis again. Same with whoever, Jacoby Brissett, Mac Jones, any of those guys. You may as well start Will Levis if you're going to start one of them. You may as well. So, I don't know if that leads you to believe maybe Cam Ward is the pick, because some of those options we talked about in free agency are going away as we speak. Matt Stafford, people were talking about that. That would have been a stupid trade anyway. He ends up going back to the Rams. Better look out, man. The way I see it, when I look at the Titans and the Giants, and you can't sleep on the Browns either. Their quarterback situation's awful. But when I look at the Titans and the Giants, one of those teams is going to have Cam Ward, and quite possibly the other one is going to have Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's what it feels like to me right now. And I could be wrong for that, but I don't know, man. All I can tell you after this news about Geno Smith being traded to the Raiders will not be trading with the Titans. And maybe nobody's offering what the Titans want in a trade. The options are dwindling. What is Tennessee going to do? Free agency starts next week. The draft is a little over a month and a half away. Two-Tone Talk's where you need to be. We're talking about it all the way up until. God bless you. Tighten up. Bye.